Hey there everyone, Tom Holstrom here with Nova Solutions Group. Just a quick screencast on a request I get commonly. As many of you know, we here at Novus all run on Macintoshes, and we realize that a good portion of the world is running on Windows, and there's also another subset that runs on Linux, but we get questions quite a bit about running the MKS Integrity Client on a Macintosh. And as you know, the Integrity Client is not supported on a Macintosh, but we use the client quite a bit, and we either run into a Windows VM or a Linux VM. Those are the two supported platforms, including, I guess, AIX and HPUX. But some of the things that we do, we either run in VMware or Linux. But what I wanted to show today is how we run under Linux and how I redirect the Linux console output or the X output to my Macintosh to make it look as though it's a native Mac application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by running VMware as you all would, VMware Fusion. I'm going to start my Ubuntu 1010 virtual machine. And while that's running, I'll also start a terminal. And when the virtual machine is up and running, we'll SSH into that machine. And I'm actually going to, once this machine is running, I'm going to minimize this machine to get it out of the way. So from within terminal, this is where we begin. For those that are familiar with the SSH command, it's SSH, but we want to default it to redirect our X output. And we can either do that with a -X, a -uppercase Y, which is an encrypted session. You can also pass in a C or look at the man pages, which will compress the communications. When you're going across a slow network connection, that's sometimes helpful. And then the host name, in this case, Ubuntu VM is the name of the box. And when I do this, I'll get the traditional authentication dialog. And then once I get into my box, now the -Y and the -X, again, consult the man pages there. It's required to automatically redirect and set up the redirection. So now I've actually got things redirected. So I can do the typical things that you would expect to do on my Unix host here. But the key here is my output is redirected. So if I do something like this, run Firefox, you'll notice that the Firefox client looks to be running local on this machine, but it's not. It's running through an X session. And the same thing here. I can run the Integrity Client, and again it looks like it's running locally, but as I illustrated with Firefox, it's not. So here is my Integrity Client. I'm running in a lower resolution and my fonts appear larger because of that. Do all the things that I would normally do. Run queries, view my change packages, you know, all the normal things you do in the client, and they behave as you would expect them to. But the cool thing is, everything behaves as a native Mac application, and things actually will resize in a window as you would expect them to. Very powerful. So anyway, that's my quick screencast on running the Integrity Client on a Linux host, but redirecting its X output to your Macintosh X server. The Macintosh X server, by the way, is built into the Macintosh. There's nothing that needs to be done, nothing beyond what I happen to show you here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we'll talk soon. Take care.